Louie, the little parrot who learned to trust again.
Louie, 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 Louie.
The first time I laid eyes on Louie, I could just feel it. This little guy had been through something hard. There was a quiet sadness in his eyes, a kind of hesitation, like he wasn't sure if he was safe. It hit me right in the heart. I've seen anxious birds before, but this time felt different. This time it felt deeper.
Hello. 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 Hello.
Louie had spent 26 years, almost his entire life, inside a cage. His previous owner, I don't think he ever really knew how to care for him properly. He wasn't outright abused, but he was neglected in a way that slowly eats away at a soul. When I saw a post on Facebook from someone looking to rehome Louie, my heart just sank. I thought, this little one deserves a good life. I couldn't stop thinking about him. I knew I had to try.
You want to go outside and check the mail? Or do you want to go tonight?
When Louie arrived, I was honestly shocked by how tiny he was. For a macaw, he was so underweight, so fragile. He couldn't balance well. He'd perch, then stumble, then fall. And his feathers, oh, it just broke me. He'd plucked so many of them out, probably from years of stress or boredom. It was obvious he had never truly known what it felt like to just be a bird.
Okay, it's right there.
That first night, I got him settled in and turned the lights off so he could rest. And then, in the quiet darkness, I heard the softest little voice, hello. My heart cracked wide open. It was like he was asking, is someone still there? The next morning, I heard him screaming from the living room. Not angry, just scared, confused. I think he woke up wondering, where am I? I didn't try to touch him. I just sat close by, spoke gently, and let him feel that he wasn't alone anymore. Sometimes, what a hurting soul needs most is simply your presence. No pressure, just kindness. And then sooner than I expected, Louie started to open up. He began talking more, watching me, tilting his little head like he was trying to figure me out. I'd laugh and ask him, so what do you think? You ready to run this place? And honestly, he kind of did. Louie quickly became the boss of the house. He's endlessly curious, always wants to know what I'm doing. Whether I'm folding laundry or typing on my laptop, Louie's got to be right there. And when it comes to protecting me, oh, don't even get me started. If someone gets too close, he charges in like a little feathered bodyguard. I always warn guests, watch your toes.
Louie? No, we don't chew on shoes. We don't chew on shoes. Come here. No.
Louie has his bedtime rituals too. If I keep him up too late, you can bet he'll be cranky in the morning just like a toddler. Some days, living with Louie feels like living with a stubborn little monkey. But even when he's being a handful or making simple things more complicated, I still love him. I really do.
Hey, there. There's skin under there.
You play with Josh while I get ready. That's not as fun as...
There was a moment, not long after bringing him home, when I watched him perched quietly, still missing feathers, still unsure about spreading his wings in. I got all choked up. The fact that he had gone through so many years of loneliness and still found a way to trust again, that kind of strength, it stays with you.
Are you gonna do the dishes? Have it? Good job. You have it? Give me one. Give me a lid.
Louie isn't just a bird living in my house, he's family. Every day, he greets me with a cheerful chirp or a sweet little hello, like he knows exactly what I need to hear. He fills the room with energy. He makes me laugh. And he reminds me that love doesn't need to be perfected, just needs to be present over and over with your whole heart. All I want is for Louie to live out the rest of his years in peace, in comfort, and surrounded by love. That's all I want for him. And for every little soul out there still waiting for a second chance. If you're thinking about adopting, especially an exotic animal like a parrot, please do it with your whole heart and a whole lot of responsibility. Learn everything you can, talk to people who've been there, reach out to rescue groups. These animals aren't just pets. They're emotional, complex, deeply feeling creatures, and they deserve so much more than just a cage.
Louie.
Good.
Louie.
We've got some oil on these.
I know. Come here.
Taking Louie in didn't just change his life, it changed mine too. And I will be forever grateful that he chose to trust me.
Hello. 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 Hello.
If Louie's story touched your heart, I'd be so thankful if you'd hit like, subscribe for more real heartfelt stories like his, and share this video with someone who's ready to open their home to a life in need. Because sometimes the soul you save ends up
That's your
saving
favorite
yours right
song?
back.
Yeah, come get it.
And we keep climbing higher. Hey, quit climbing so high. You're killing me. This is where we are right now. He's so happy.
Koko, our feathered grandpa and the gift of friendship. Koko was born way back in the 1940s. Can you imagine that he's literally as old as Chuck Norris? At 85 years old, Koko is definitely a bit of a grump sometimes, especially when it comes to the little things, like checking the sheets to make sure they meet his high standards. And if you watch closely, you'll notice how he stands slow, deliberate, a little like an old man who's seen it all. But behind that grumpy exterior is a bird with a story that could melt your heart. A story that reminds me every day how powerful kindness and friendship can be. You see, Koko didn't always have a gentle home. He was rescued by the police after a terrible case of mistreatment. My friend took him in, hoping to give him a better life. But at that time, Koko didn't trust people at all. For years, I'd visit him, trying to get close, but he never showed me any interest. It was like there was a wall between us that wouldn't budge. Then, one day, my friend told me he couldn't care for Koko anymore. I was heartbroken Koko still didn't like me, but I had already fallen in love with that bird's spirit.
Toki, je bent zo mooi. Ja.
It took so much patience, years of slow, gentle attention and treats to finally win his trust. And when we did, we noticed something else. Koko's eyesight was failing. The vet said he had an eye problem that required surgery, and because of his age, We were terrified. At 85, anesthesia is risky, but Koko had been suffering from constant headaches, so we knew we couldn't put it off any longer. After the surgery, there was a long healing process. I worried about him every day. Then one morning, something amazing happened. I saw a different bird. Koko wasn't just sleeping all day anymore. He was lively, curious, even playful. It was like the surgery lifted a weight from him. But what really transformed him was the day Chico came along. Chico is a young bird, only 21 years old, a lot younger than Koko, but something about their bond is pure magic. Koko lights up when Chico is near. He follows him everywhere, and Chico seems to know just how to bring out the joy in Koko's days. Watching those two together, I've learned something important. Birds, like people, need friends. They need connection, companionship, someone to share their days with. It's not just about survival, it's about living well, feeling loved, and having a reason to keep going. When Koko first came to us, the vet said he might only have a year left. It's been over 8 years now. He's the boss of the house, grumpy but strong, with a spirit that refuses to give up. I truly believe that his friendship with Chico is the reason for his long life and renewed happiness. Koko's story has taught me so much about love, patience, and hope. If you're thinking about adopting a pet, especially one that's been through hardship, please remember this love isn't always instant. Sometimes it's slow, quiet, and requires all the patience in the world, but it's worth every moment. Take your time to understand the animal's needs, reach out to rescue groups, learn about their history, and be ready for the long haul. Because these animals deserve more than just a roof over their heads. They deserve a family, a friend, and a chance to live fully. If Koko's journey touched your heart, please give this video a like and share it with someone who could use a little reminder of the power of friendship. And if you want to hear more stories like this, hit subscribe and join us as we celebrate the incredible bonds that change lives every day. Thank you for listening. Remember, sometimes the smallest acts of kindness can bring about the most beautiful miracles. Blondie, the featherless bird with a fierce heart. Whenever I think about resilience, I think of Blondie. At first glance, he doesn't look like much. A small bird without a single feather left on his body. Honestly, a lot of people wouldn't even want to touch him just because of how he looks. But if you ever have the chance to know him, you'll quickly realize his spirit is bigger than any set of wings. Blondie came into our lives like most pets do. He was smart, curious, full of energy and mischief. When he turned 1, he'd wake us up every morning with his chirping, bob his head to the music in the house, and greet us like a tiny flying alarm clock. He was, quite simply, the sunshine in our little home. Then, things started to change. It began with a few missing feathers on his head. We thought maybe he scratched himself or rubbed up against something, but then the feathers on his chest started thinning, and then his back. In just a few weeks, nearly all his feathers were gone, right before our eyes. We took him to the vet immediately, hoping it was something minor. They checked for parasites, ran tests, and said it might be stress. We cleaned his cage, adjusted his diet, made things quieter and more peaceful. But nothing worked. And Blondie, he grew quiet. He stopped chirping, stopped dancing, just sat still, like the light inside him was slowly going out. And you know what? It broke my heart. We felt helpless. We felt guilty. I remember lying awake one night just staring at the ceiling and thinking, what else can we do? Then, as if by fate, I came across an Instagram post. Someone was caring for a bird that looked just like Blondie. Bald, fragile, but still full of life. They mentioned a virus I had never heard of before. PBF. Psittacine beak and feather disease. I stayed up night after night reading everything I could find, articles, research papers, personal stories, and slowly I came to understand. Blondie had PBF, a virus that causes parrots to lose their feathers and weakens their immune system. There's no cure, no miracle. Those feathers would never grow back. I won't lie, I cried. I cried until my chest ached. But then, I looked over at Blondie. He was curled up in the corner of his cage, eyes dull, body tense. And I thought to myself, he hasn't given up, so why should I? So, we started over. I held him more, like a baby. I carried him around the house, showing him the world all over again. We rearranged the living room with soft mats and little ramps so he could climb and explore safely. We added heating lamps, covered him with warm cloths in the mornings, and held him close when it got cold. And slowly, Blondie came back to life. He began exploring again, climbing, hopping, tilting his head in that quirky way of his whenever something caught his attention. He doesn't chirp like he used to, but he makes these little raspy grunts whenever something excites or annoys him. He's found his favorite places in the house, a corner filled with stuffed animals, a sunlit windowsill, a shelf by the radio where he loves to sit and listen to soft piano music. Blondie has taught me more about the will to live than any human ever has. What he lacks in appearance, he more than makes up for in heart. He's curious, stubborn, affectionate, full of personality. Sometimes he gets cranky and gives us little nips, but other times he nestles into my chest and looks up at me with such trust. It brings tears to my eyes. When I look at him, I don't see a sick bird anymore. I see a fighter, a soul that refuses to give in, a life still burning brightly. We often think beauty comes from a shiny coat, graceful wings, or a perfect figure. But Blondie reminds me, true beauty lives within. It's in how we face the world when nothing goes the way we expected. It's the courage to keep going, even when life doesn't play fair. If Blondie's story touched your heart, please give it a like, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. We'll keep sharing stories like this because the world always needs a little more kindness and a little more love. And if you're thinking about bringing a pet, especially an exotic one, into your home, please do it with full responsibility and care. Talk to professionals. Do your research. Make sure you're ready to walk the road with them, especially when it gets tough. Because animals like Blondie, they deserve more than just a roof over their heads. They deserve a full, happy life. Blondie will never fly again, but he's free in every way that truly matters.